You know what it is. Unique Make Audio, man. I'm here. I got Ronnie Bo all the way from Milwaukee. He was R. Kelly Selly. So I know, so I don't know if y'all know, when you in the cell with a man at night, you know what I mean? You change war stories and you know what I mean? You reminisce, and that's how we get our therapy. So from him being in the cell with R. Kelly, he shared his gangster stories, and R. Kelly shared his industry stories. Sit back, subscribe at Mecca Audio TV. Let's get this thing popping. Hit the notification. We're going to bring Ronnie Bo up right after the intro. All right. All right, you know what it is. Unique Make Audio, man. I'm not even gonna hold y'all up because I know everybody waiting to hear from the world famous Ronnie Bo. He has so much to say. He's articulate. I spent last night, talking to him and feeling him out because we got to do our vetting at Unique Make Audio, and I like the way he conduct himself. So I'm gonna let him share his story. If it's anything that I don't agree with, I'm gonna speak on. Y'all could put it in the comments as well. Let me bring him up. All right. Tell him who you are and where you from and how you met R. Kelly.
My name Ronnie Bo. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I ended up meeting R. Kelly because I got indicted in the Northern District of Illinois, which is the Chicago area, for allegedly drug trafficking by traveling to Chicago to buy drugs and bringing the drugs back to Milwaukee to sell them to Milwaukee drug dealers, which was alleged by the DEA agent Timothy P. Gray, who investigated me for about 3 years. And then once I got indicted, I ended up beating a serious case, and it was allegations of 90 grams of heroin being found in my ex-girlfriend's purse back then. And so I still had to fight that case. But after I beat the serious allegations, or relevant conduct, whatever they want to call it, then they allowed me to bail out. And while I was out on bail, I made a rap song about rats called Whack the Rats, where I mentioned a DEA confidential informant in the song. And then my bail was revoked in June 2024 of 2019. R. Kelly got indicted like a month later and ended up where I was at in MCC Chicago. So we ended up in the same federal holding facility. We was there together for about 21 months. And while I was there, I befriended him. I thought he was, outside of being a fan of his music, I found him to be actually a smooth dude. I took a liking to him, and we became associates or friends or whatever you want to call it. And we had certain talks about certain things. Some of the things was about the inner workings in the music industry, and that's about that.
All right. So let's walk this through. So you walk in the cell, you come in the unit, and they tell you you're going to cell X number 45. So when you walk in the cell, was R. Kelly in the cell when you got there, or you went in and he wasn't?
No, he came like a month or two later. When I first came, they put me on Unit 15, which was a unit for, like, I don't know why they put me there, because I never had no violent case. I just had a simple drug trafficking possession with intent to distribute heroin, to be exact. And Unit 15 was for like high profile people like El Chapo, his cartel dynasty was there, a few other high profile people. Then when R. Kelly came, he was initially on what y'all call protective. Well, you've been to the feds, you know, it's administrative detention in the feds, but most people know it as protective custody. So he was on protective custody at first, you know. Then, I was on count with the GDs, who was the majority group as far as how it go, especially in Chicago. Gangs is serious there. So the GDs was like the biggest organization, a mob or whatever you want to call it at the time. But I was also cool with leaders uh, of other organizations like the Latin Kings, Vice Lords, and I was already a book author and a musician or whatever. So I wanted to actually meet R. Kelly, and I wouldn't have been able to do that with him on PC. So, I talked to the guys and asked them could they try to help me make R. Kelly feel comfortable on protective custody, because I want to write a book about him on his side of the story, you know, from the surviving R. Kelly narrative or whatever. And we pushed the agenda, and we end up getting them on general population eventually, and I end up meeting them. We got cool, and we negotiated the book. He never signed no agreement for me to write a book on his side of the story. However, based on just our communication things we talked about, I was able to develop enough stories to just craft a whole different book outside of what I wanted to do with him.
Oh, okay. So you was on count with your GD, so you was a GD.
I grew up GD, bro, but I guess you can say was, because I don't really affiliate myself with that organization right now, and it's reasons. It's people like GF, who I'm cool with, and other who other people who was actually like close to Larry Hoover. You know what I'm saying? Who detach themselves from the organization. And then, Larry Hoover recently even had to, detach himself from that, because, people going to court, and when you are Larry Hoover and it's people who claiming GD out here in the streets doing dumb shit, the government try to tie their actions to what he doing. So, most people who was really like affiliated with that organization, it's not that we disclaim it, or I mean like disown it. It's just like it's too much going on within that organization, and the government kind of like labeled the organization a domestic terrorist organization. So we won't like publicly just say we GD or nothing like that. So you been through the same things I've been through. You know the lifestyle, so you pretty much understand what I'm getting at.
Most definitely, most definitely. And we're not here to exploit that. And I don't get into the gang business because that's not my business, and I stay in my lane.
There
You
we
know,
go. There we go. Nation
um,
business. Nation business is nation business.
there you go. And unique business is unique business.
For sure.
Now, so how was your first night in the cell with R. Kelly? Did y'all sit down like me? When I get somebody in the cell, right? I always let them know my do's and don'ts and my pet peeves in the cell. Like a dude, you urinating and not wiping off the toilet, not cleaning the sink behind them, spreading your bed in the morning when you get up and go out, so that the police don't want to come in the cell because the bed is not spread. Because if your bed is not made and your cell is not clean, they're gonna come in there and take whatever little things they can, and that's how they force you to do it. So, what did you tell R. Kelly when you came in, and what did R. Kelly tell you that how he wanted to live in that cell?
Well, for the record, I stated this on many platforms when I first came out talking about my situation with R. Kelly. It wasn't really about R. Kelly, but being that I was locked up with him, my situation with him, my stories about him went viral, and the media, I felt like they started labeling me R. Kelly cellmate for clickbait. But I told people in many interviews that I was never his cellmate. But you know how I go in the feds. In the feds, you could be in other people's cell. And when we was on the same unit together, yes, I was in his cell as you know, cameras would show. You know, I have a lawsuit against MCC Chicago, so it's still documented that they saw me in his cell, but I was never actually his cellmate, and I stated that many times on several platforms. But it's like I don't know, maybe you didn't look that deep into that particular situation, but I have stated on many platforms on several occasions that we was never actually cellmates. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna clarify that once again. We was never cellmates. We was on the same unit for a period of time, and you know how I go in the feds. You could go hang out in other people's cell, which I did with him at times, but I was never his cellmate.
See, that's why I chose to interview Ronnie Bo, because he a straight up dude. You know what I mean? He's not sitting here claiming something that didn't happen. And like he said, we in the feds. You go hang out with somebody that you're cool with and you chill in they cell. You know what I mean? And me, myself, right? Let me tell you a little ride. Let me tell you a little ride. I'm in Coleman, Florida, and my man Char, I ain't gonna say his name, but my man, he said, yo, I want you to meet this Italian. He from New York. He cool. You know what I mean? He brought me up to the Italian cell, and I knocked on the door and I just walked in, and the Italian kind of like walked me back out the cell and said, yo, you know, no disrespect, but I don't allow anyone in my cell. You understand what I'm saying? And when he said it, I was gonna get offended. And then I thought about it and I said, man, that makes sense, because you yourselves know that's watching this, that once you let someone in your house or once you go in someone's house, you feel familiar with that house. And now you feel like you could walk in and out, you could take what you want. If you want to get some, you know, a soda out the fridge, a beer out the fridge, you get comfortable and you do all that. And he didn't want anyone getting comfortable like that. So that's how I learned to keep people out my cell. But like Ronnie Bo said, you know, we go in each other's cells when we cool and we sit down and we chop it up for hours. And that's how he got these, you know, sensational stories right now that he's sharing. And, you know, I just want to, you know, I just want to take you on that ride, Roddy. You know what I mean? Just so that they can understand what you're saying, that you kept it 100, that he wasn't your silly. Okay, so um, what did he tell you about his case? I mean, how did you feel knowing that he was locked up for SA case, you know, and an R case, and it was involving a minor? You know, how did you feel? Be honest when you heard that, or did you have a motive in mind to write the book and you bypass, you know, the rumors or the stories or the media write-ups about, you know, his negative crap? You know what I mean?
Well, my case and my situation was totally different from his, but what we had in common, I felt like, is that, you know, I was actually framed in that case as a member of a drug trafficking organization. And I'm not going to say that I never sold drugs, but in that particular case, I really didn't do what they said I was doing. And that even came to light. So with me dealing with that and looking at other black men and they're, and not just black men, I don't want to push the race issue, but like like I said, I was cool with the Latin Kings and other, even, you know, the white dudes who have bogus cases. You know, I was the one in there studying law, and you know, I had some success with my motions and, you know, fighting certain cases pro se. So I looked at him like from the perspective that, you know, what he was going through. You know, we got to remember that Michael Jackson had a bogus case for allegedly. You know, I'm on a public platform and I recognize the codes. You can get strike for things, but people know about Michael Jackson case, and Tupac had a case kind of similar. Mike Tyson had a case kind of similar. Kobe Bryant had a case kind of similar. So I looked at it like that. Like, why is all these iconic black men getting locked up for sex crimes? And, you know, it happens when they become very influential to the culture and to the masses. It's like, is that a coincidence or a conspiracy? So I looked at it like that. Like I didn't want to be the one to judge R. Kelly. To be honest, like I'm me. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself a real man, a real nigga, whatever you want to call it. Like if I take a liking to you and I see something in you, I don't care what nobody else got to say about you. I don't care what the public got to say about you, or none of that. If I feel like I think like R. Kelly, I felt like he was a victim to the industry. Like it shouldn't be even considered conspiracy theory no more that you know the top executives in that industry really do like say satanic devil worshiping type of stuff. That's just what they believe. Like some people Christians, some people Muslims, some people Buddhists or whatever, but they really like devil worshipers. And you know they own these major record labels. So that's what I looked at it like that. And I know some of the tactics they use, you know, when you become very influential, or mainly before they even put their money behind you and you get and you know put you in that position. It's like, okay, we want to have something on him in case he get out of line so we can control this person. So I looked at it like that. And his perspective based on what he told me, you know, they go back to slavery. You know, back during slavery, they would find the most dominant, masculine, charismatic black man who everybody else, all the rest of the slaves looking up to as somebody with influence and power, and they would lynch them in front of all the rest of the slaves, including they mama, they kids, they wife, you know what I mean? So in R. Kelly words, and this on my dead brother, bro, he told me that what he was going through was a lynching for the public and other people, like for like people like Diddy and Jay-Z and other people who want to be as big or are as big and empowered to see, like, you know, y'all could get y'all could this could happen to y'all too. So we're gonna do it in front of y'all. We're gonna use R. Kelly for example to show y'all what can happen to y'all. And that's what I believe. People are entitled to believe whatever they want to believe. But me personally, I don't care what nobody else believes. I feel like R. Kelly was a good dude. And I just don't believe a lot of the things that they said about him. You know, a lot of those things may be true with other people. Like we see Diddy in a similar situation now, but I actually befriended one of his victims who, you know what I'm talking about, Natanya Rubin. We cool and she like a sister to me now. And this somebody who Diddy shot in the face, you know what I mean? And been around Diddy and said that he been doing things. So it's people like Diddy and then the executives who put him in power and cut his checks, you know what I mean? Like they do worse things than people saying about Diddy, but you see what's going on, like the 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 masses, all these YouTubers, the media is focusing on the bad things that Diddy did. When stuff like this happen with those top executives, the media really don't pick up on it how they do when it's a black man involved for some reason. But I just, you know, I'm not gonna let nobody really change my perspective of R. Kelly. Of course, people know that I done had talks with Jaguar Wright, and she another black woman who I embrace as a sister, and she said some things about R. Kelly to me, you know, when we talked, and some of the things kind of made me look at him like, come on, Kels, you know what I mean? Because she said she experienced these things with her own eyes. However, it's like, okay, I'm cool with you, Jag. I believe you, but I just feel like R. Kelly is still a victim of that. And like one of the things Jaguar told me behind the scenes about R. Kelly is that they went on tour together, and there were a few 15-year-olds who was on stage, like being a part of his performance, and that he was feeling on them in front of thousands of people on stage. But it's coming out now that sometimes you go to these parties and you will it'll be beautiful young women who would come up to you and touch you in certain ways and flirt with you and give you their number, and you might touch them back in certain ways, and then you later find out this female who you thought was 20 or 21 was only 15. So I don't condone and nothing like that. Like I'm actually around uh young females right now who are the daughters of my girlfriend, you know, including my own daughter. So I could never condone that or justify that, but it sometimes, you know, you could be set up, and I feel like R. Kelly was just set up.
All right. See, my thing is, no disrespect. When I'm listening to you talk, it sounds like you're defending his actions. How do you feel about what he did?
I don't know what he did, bro. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I know
My
what the
man.
media, I know what the media say, and I know what he say. So
Hmm.
I take into consideration what he said to me personally, and then I look at what the media say, and then I look at some of my own experiences. Like no female ever said that I sexually assaulted them or nothing like that, but I have had spiteful females who I no longer communicate with, who try to bash my name and, you know, shatter my image or whatever in other ways and say other bad things about me just because things between me and them didn't work out. They probably had certain expectations for me and it didn't go the way that they planned. So now they might see me with another female and they might not want the other female to talk to me or no other female to talk to me. So, you know, whatever they agenda is, they feel like they got to try to tarnish my shine, bring me down for certain reasons. And I've been through that. So I felt like with R. Kelly being as big as he became and dealing with females who like never been around the things that they was around with him, you know, they probably felt like, well, he finna change my life. He might put me in a mansion or he might sign me. I could become a singer off of him, and things didn't go as planned. So when they come out with this agenda to reach out to people and say, if anybody out there in the public ever had a bad experience with R. Kelly, you know, come forward and we're gonna put you on this documentary and we're gonna pay you for it. Like everybody on that documentary, Surviving R. Kelly, got paid. And it's like, okay, well, we expected him to put us in position, but now is another opportunity because they even told them that his estate, you know, his catalog, which was worth 1.2 billion, you know, that's gonna be taken away from him, and that they will be, you know, compensated for, you know, lawsuits and things that they allege that he did to them. So you know how it is. People finesse. People see an opportunity to scam and scheme on people, and that's what I felt like may have happened. I don't know. I could be wrong. R. Kelly could be a monster, a creep, or a pedo, whatever they want to call him. I don't know that, but based on my experiences, you know, with him and knowing him, I just think that a lot of that stuff was fabricated against him, and that's just my point. You know, I don't really care what the public believe. I really, you know, I respect you, bro. I don't even care what you believe. You know what I mean? I'm gonna speak my mind and believe what I want to believe, no matter what you say, how you look at it, no matter what nobody else say. That's just me. Simple as that.
Okay, so what do you think the difference between R. Kelly's case and Diddy's case, them locking Diddy up now for, you know, those type of charges similar to R. Kelly's? What do you think? Do you think they coincide or they don't? How do you feel about, you know, Diddy right now, his case after knowing what you feel they have done to R. Kelly?
They coincide in the sense that, you know, if you don't comply with the agenda, they have consequences for that. And Diddy was in compliance with the agenda for a while, you know, and he was one of their greatest puppets. And when he felt like he got uh, too iconic, too influential, too powerful, he probably felt like he could you know, he probably felt like the executives who put him in position wasn't even much of a factor as he is. So he probably felt like he was able to challenge the agenda, especially when they projecting Jay-Z to be worth billions, and then you have this arrangement with Ciroc that projected you to be a billionaire, and that didn't fall through because of business arrangements. Then you challenge that and you file lawsuits, and these people who own this company, you know, got ties with the judicial system. You know, some of their friends might be judges or prosecutors or federal agents, and it's like, okay, you want to play when you know the power I got. So, all right, it's a battle now. So it's like, okay, now we done let you get away with all this weird shit you've been doing. You know, you got tapes doing weird shit with all these other celebrities and politicians. You know, some of them we don't want to expose, but we know we recorded a lot of the things you're doing too. So you already know, like, you want to play. Okay, now we gonna put it out there. Like, they would have continued to let Diddy get away with everything that he did, you know, had he stayed in compliance and you know, allow them to slave him, how they've been doing for probably about 30 years, and how they, you know, slave a lot of other black entertainers, including R. Kelly, including Jay-Z, you know. So, you know, once he got out of line, you know, he had those consequences. And R. Kelly, you know, according to him and things I researched myself, the correlation between these situations is that R. Kelly was never really, he never really wanted to comply with the agenda. You know, the type of lifestyle we come from, you know, total poverty, you know, is bad. So when you finally get somewhere where you could take care of your family, yourself, your kids, your friends, all your loved ones, and you got money and fame now, it's like some people don't have the integrity that I have. So some people, when they had them opportunities, they would sacrifice their integrity, their manhood, or whatever else they have to sacrifice to be in certain positions. And I feel like that was the case with R. Kelly. Like, I don't condone nothing that he may have done, you know, that may have hurt other people. It's just, I know that, like, an example right now, like I know young men on the streets who living in total poverty in bad situations, probably only got two different pair of pants that they can ever put on. So if I was to come to them right now and say, look, bro, I give you 5 G's to kill this person, that person could be a friend or whatever, but they looking at 5 G's like, wow, that's a lot of money. So you got to think of people who, you know what I'm saying, is offered millions. You know what I mean? In R. Kelly's situation, his catalog became worth billions. So you know R. Kelly a little more than I know. You know what I'm saying? You know his history, that is. You probably never been in the same building with him for almost 2 years, but you know him and your people know him. Your people help him get where he was at. And when you reflect back on that past, you know R. Kelly was the dude on the bus stop singing for change, for quarters. You know what I mean? So when you come from that and somebody offer you millions, it's like, it's no telling what some people would do when they don't stand on real principles and integrity like I do. And it's a few other men in the world who may stand on certain principles, who won't do nothing ignoble for no amount of money. You know what I mean? But I can't blame the people who do, because they not as strong as me mentally and emotionally. So I just understand, like, damn, I hate that for you, but I understand. You know what I mean?
Okay, so what was some of the industry, you know, drama, scandal, or whatever you want to call it, that, you know, R. Kelly shared with you that made you say, like, wow, like, for real? You know? But just think of a good one. Let's hear something good right now that he told you. Like, you know, did he? Who are some of the people he spoke about?
Jay-Z in particular. And we know the world know that he had a past with Jay-Z. They did 2 albums together. They was on tour together. And based on his experiences with Jay-Z and what he knew, you know, Jay-Z is a total sellout, a total puppet. They controlling him right now. They got the power to make anybody look how they want them to look. You know what I mean? And right now, well, I'm gonna say until Jaguar Wright and me and other people start coming forth about who Jay-Z really is behind the scene, like he had us all looking up to him as you the man, you that nigga. You got uh, the most successful uh, woman in the music industry as your wife, and you supposed to be worth more money than every other artist, and you got more power and more accomplishments than every other artist. So it's like we look up to you as you the one, you the man, you did that. You know what I mean? You got it on lock. You know what I mean? But the machine, the establishment, or whatever you call it, was behind him for a reason. And this ain't nothing I'm just speculating, or I'm not just going off what R. Kelly said, but we got to go off with his closest associate, Dame Dash, said. And another one of his closest associates at one time, DeHaven, said. And we got to look at the fact that Jay-Z currently, even to this day, his co-CEO of Roc Nation is Desiree Perez, who was a known federal DEA informant that was getting people like me and people bigger than me locked up for a long time. And this is somebody he still work with closely to this day, but he'll say stuff in his song like, fuck the haven for caving. That's why we don't speak. Made man ain't supposed to make statements. Okay, this your reason for disowning your best friend, but you with Desiree Perez, who did the same thing you claim your best friend did, but you cool with that, and we supposed to not realize that. Some people don't want to realize that. Like even in the streets right now, I know people who got bricks and getting a lot of money, and a lot of people won't even say nothing about them working for the police, even when they know they working for the police, because they got to go to them to buy these bricks. And it's like that in the industry. People know things about Jay-Z, but they ain't going to speak out because they know Jay-Z could tell the people at the Grammys and the BET Awards and all these radio stations and all the DJs, man, look, I don't mess with dude. If y'all mess with him, I'm not messing with y'all. So they going to disown you. You know what I mean? So, that's pretty much what R. Kelly explained about Jay-Z, and he also, ironically, whether people want to believe it or not, and whether it sound as outrageous as it may sound, but Jay-Z also had to do some very ignoble things with, in particular, people like P. Diddy, such as oral sex. You know what I mean? But that's another story. I'm gonna leave that right there because I wasn't even supposed to get there. You know what I mean? I told R. Kelly I wouldn't mention certain things, and you know, to be honest, right now where I'm at with R. Kelly is that we had an agreement outside of the doing a book together. You know what I mean? We had an agreement that you know, my motive and my agenda is to push for, you know, black inmates, especially those who've been locked up for crimes they didn't commit. And like my nephew, Prairie Kelly, he got a murder right now that he didn't commit, but he locked up for murder even though he didn't commit it. Another one of my associates, Dante Rousey, he has 4 life sentences for 4 bodies that he didn't commit. And he locked up for those 4 bodies for, you know, he supposed to never get out. But people like that is people who I have ties with and people who I met in prison. And, you know, during the time that me and R. Kelly was locked up together at MCC Chicago, there was the COVID pandemic where we wasn't being fed. We couldn't come out of our cell. We was locked down 24 hours a day. We couldn't call our loved ones, our lawyer, our mama, nothing. We thought we was going to all die in there, you know. So it's like all we got in here is us. You know what I mean? What we going to do? We got to stick together. You know what I mean? And I asked him to speak out on those things, but every time he get an opportunity to, he only speak about the injustices of his own case instead of broadening the issue and saying, well, look, it's a lot of people in here that's locked up for things that they didn't do. And it's been going on for years. And even the people who did commit crimes, they got way more time than they should have. And I wanted him to speak out on that. And he hasn't done that. So I feel like because he hasn't upheld his word to me, I ain't got to uphold my word to him. And simple as that, bro.
But you're an honorable man, so that's why you do that. But I want to say this for the record, right? You mentioned about Jay-Z with R. Kelly, and we try and keep it neutral here. And you have to ask yourself, who's the people that has the issue with Jay-Z? Because R. Kelly and Jay-Z, from what I know from being in prison, I've been going 26 years, they fell out after that Best of Both World albums, and they haven't talked since. Am I correct? Or you don't know, or I'm wrong?
They was during the whole process of them working together, they weren't really seeing eye to eye. You know what I mean? According to R. Kelly, Jay-Z, you know, when certain people got egos, you know what I mean, and then another man take your shine and you think you the greatest thing that God created, and then somebody challenge that, whether it's directly or indirectly. You know what I mean? In the presence of R. Kelly, when you doing these shows, you got to think during that time, Jay-Z was doing his thing, but R. Kelly was doing his thing on a whole nother level. So these crowds is more, they gravitate more towards R. Kelly than Jay-Z. And when you got an ego and you feel like, wow, this dude outshining me, you know, and you deep down inside a real hater, you know, and I know other people who know Jay-Z that said he a hater deep down inside, you know what I mean? So I don't know myself to confirm that, but it seemed that way based on, you know, things I heard. And it's like, okay, so Jay-Z already didn't like him, and then you got these executives behind him saying, look, we gonna put you in this situation with R. Kelly to expand your audience and make you bigger. You know what I mean? So it was already an agenda for them linking, period. Because whether you know it or not, and I spoke on this before, R. Kelly was actually supposed to do Best of Both Worlds with Tupac, and you know, Tupac ended up in a situation where either he died or faked his death, you know, and that wasn't able to happen no more, you know. But then they wanted to put Jay-Z in a position that Pac and Big was in. So it's like, okay, we're gonna make this arrangement that you do the best of both worlds with R. Kelly. So you know, like, let's go back to J. Edgar Hoover, the director of the FBI, who put in the FBI directive that any black man who he saw as a black messiah that could unify and electrify the rest of them, we have to neutralize him by any means. So, you know, Malcolm X got assassinated, Fred Hampton, Dr. King, other people, Jeff Ford got put away for life, Larry Hoover got put away for life. That's called neutralizing them. And then they also said that if there's ever to be somebody as big as that who could be a black messiah, we got to be behind him and we got to create him. And Jay-Z is a prime example of that because they got behind him and created his situation. You know, even his arrangement to marry Beyonce was exactly what I just said, the arrangement. The arrangement was initially supposed to be with Aaliyah. Aaliyah didn't want to go with the agenda. She more so gravitated towards Damon Dash. And Damon Dash even confirmed that after I publicized that in the interview. I don't know why he held back and waited till I spoke on it to confirm that, but that's what it was. You know what I mean? So Yeah, I hope I didn't get too far off the subject, but you know that's what it is, bro.
All right. Now I'm gonna let you ride. That's how we do it here. You did a good ride. But now, my next question is what I heard happened during the R. Kelly and Jay-Z Best of Both Worlds tour that fell apart was that R. Kelly was delinquent in coming late, acting like a diva, you know? That's what the narrative was put out there. So it was like Jay-Z was more professional. He's there, and R. Kelly come an hour late, hour and a half late. And Jay-Z said, yo, I can't work like this. I'm a professional. I'm not gonna argue with him. I'm not gonna swing on him. Yo, I'm just done with it. I'm not gonna put myself out there to hold my fans up, waiting on me to come out. But I can't because Kelly's not here as yet. That's what I heard. Did R. Kelly speak anything about what Jay-Z's side of the beef was? We understand that you're saying that R. Kelly is saying that Jay-Z felt like he was outshining him. But you said something that I want to speak on that I don't agree with, and that like Jay-Z was nothing and R. Kelly had all the shine. They both had the shine, but in two different worlds. That's why they combined them and made it the best of both worlds. Because Jay-Z was just as big as R. Kelly, but in the hip hop, world and pop world. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I was locked up. Fool me.
No. Now, that's
Fool
time
me.
now. Okay, and okay, let me give you a prime example. In the United States, Jay-Z was up and coming, but around that time, you had people like the Hot Boys, Juvenile, and them who was doing better, and then other artists who was doing better, but they didn't want to push them. Jay-Z, uh, he intelligent. He had a history in the streets. He was business savvy. They wanted to get behind somebody that he was charismatic, and he was from New York, which is I believe number one, the biggest city population in the United States. So they wanted to get behind him. And in the United States, yes, he was big, but the example was that in Milwaukee, right? In Milwaukee, once upon a time, Ronnie Bo was the biggest name in Milwaukee, the biggest name, the most talked about person in Milwaukee. But this is just Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? And in Jay-Z's situation, this is just the United States. You know what I'm saying? Now, Ronnie Bo go to Chicago or Detroit or LA, New York, or Houston, and don't nobody really know him like that. You might find people who heard of him, but he not as big in New York or Houston or LA as he is in Milwaukee. Now, Jay-Z, yes, he was big in the United States. He was more particular in the East Coast. His music mostly sold on the East Coast. People like even Gucci Mane spoke out when he had this conflict with Jay-Z, and he was saying like, we don't listen to you down here. You know what I'm saying? There was people on the West Coast who didn't like Jay-Z like that. You know what I'm saying? Even in the Midwest, I liked the Jay-Z, to be honest, but it was people I get around, get in the car and be like, man, you listening to that lame ass shit, put Juvenile in or something. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he appeared to be big, but when you go to other countries like Africa and Europe, even Japan, R. Kelly had an impact worldwide, not just the United States, but he had an impact worldwide. People loved him worldwide. He was performing at the Olympics. Jay-Z could have never performed at the Olympics back then because people wouldn't have knew his music. So yeah, it appeared, especially with you being from the East Coast and New York in particular, and I think you even from Brooklyn in particular, ask people about Ronnie Bo before I did them bids, they'll tell you Ronnie Bo was the biggest thing. You know what I mean? So we got to really look at that. And R. Kelly was the one. He was big all over. You know what I'm saying? Not just on the East Coast, but the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, South, and all over the world, Africa and everywhere. Jay-Z wasn't like that. So they had to attach his brand with R. Kelly to expand him and make him that big. You know what I mean? Because they needed him to be that big so they could have somebody to put in a position there to where the rest of the culture look up to him and say, this is who I want to be like. So we can be influenced by the negativity in his music. Like trust me, it's hard. Like for me, I didn't see no negativity in Jay-Z back then. Like I was a huge Jay-Z fan. You know what I mean? So I didn't understand that he was influencing me to want to buy these bricks or do other things that would get me locked up. You know what I mean? I didn't see it then, but I see it now. You know what I mean? My all-seeing eye is wide open now, and I could see that. And I'm hoping that I could, you know, heal the blind so everybody else could see that.
I think that was very well said. Because, like I said, I was locked up. So when I ask questions, because I don't know, you know what I mean? But the way you broke that down and translation, the way I interpret it is that R. Kelly was big worldwide, is how you feel, and that Jay-Z was just big in the United States. And if that was the fact, because I was locked up, so I don't know, you're 100% right if those are the facts. But now, what happened in Marcy Projects? Because I read some things about Marcy Projects, and I don't want to even repeat what I read. I'd rather hear it from you because I have you up here now, so you could clarify that in your own words and tell us about the Marcy Projects incident.
Well, allegedly, a confidential informant for the FBI said that I went to Marcy Projects to do a publicity stunt. I had put out a song called Free R. Kelly, and in the song I said, fuck Jay-Z. And allegedly, I went out there to record a video to that song in Marcy Projects to, I guess, get a Jay-Z attention allegedly, or to make the world look at him like, damn, who is Ronnie Bo? He all in the hood that you grew up from, shooting a video saying fuck Jay-Z. But again, allegedly, and I'm going to tell you why I have to continue to say allegedly until my court hearing is over. I have court coming up February 4th for revocation. And one of the allegations in my revocation hearing is that I went to Brooklyn, New York, without permission from my probation officer, which is a violation that could send me back to the feds. And I didn't report that I got shot in Marcy Projects, which is an allegation that could also send me back to the feds. So this is speculation, and the allegations is documented in my court case. It can be looked up on government websites such as Pacer and other sites. However, I can't at this time say did it actually happen, whether it did or not, because if I was to say, yeah, I went to Marcy Projects to shoot the Free R. Kelly video and I got shot in the shoulder, then, you know, on February 4th, they could bring this interview into court and say, well, look, he just admitted it on a public platform. He admitted it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, send his ass back to the feds. It's true. You know what I mean? Right now, it's alleged. You know what I mean? So,
Okay, so, but my thing is, you may, and try not to use the F word. You could just say F or whatever because you're articulate. I know you could do that. But my thing is, you made a song saying F Jay Z and went back to Jay Z's projects and got capped. Gunshots, right or wrong. That's what you're saying.
that's what the
That's what they're saying. That's
that's
what the
what the
media is saying.
confidential informant is saying. And
Okay, the
then
confidence.
that's what these podcasters, bro. Like, I'm gonna send you a clip with this interview I did with Lionel B. I think he might be number one with the podcasters right now because he
Yeah, he's good. I watch him.
yeah
Big
he
shout
going,
out to Lionel B.
yeah, he going crazy with the views right now. However, I got into it with him during an interview on his podcast, and surprisingly, he still put it out. But before we did the interview, he was trying to say, bro, just say Jay-Z had you shot, bro. It's gonna go viral. Trust me, we gonna get all type of views. Your book's gonna sell, your music gonna sell. Bro, just say it. And I'm telling him behind the scenes, bro, I'm not finna say that, bro. I don't care about no views or no book sales right now. I care about my freedom more than that. You know what I mean? Like, you
And your
tripping.
honor, I hope. And your honor.
Yeah, so okay, so we get on the interview, I'm seeing it is recording, and he try to bring it up anyway. And I'm like, bro, I just told you on the phone and through text, I'm not finna do that. So we get into it in the interview. He still put the interview out. But then he started seeing people in the comments saying, "Damn, Ronnie Bo checked you on your own show and this and that." Like a lot of his followers was on my side saying, you know, he checked you, like you was trying to make him say this about Jay-Z. He told you he wasn't gonna say it. So like 4 days passed when it started really going viral and getting traction. He took it down, but he didn't know that I screen recorded it on my iPhone. I screen recorded the clips where I'm checking them and basically saying, bro, I'm not finna say that Jay-Z had me shot, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anything, I'm gonna say the government had me shot because I done won lawsuits against them and I done beat them in an indictment before, and they got more reasons to have me shot than Jay-Z, bro. So I'm not finna put it on another black man, bro. What you don't understand about that? And I had a clip where I'm actually telling him that, you know what I'm saying, he took it down, but I still have that receipt. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I ain't even got nothing against dude. You know what I mean? I had to cuss him out, call him all type of, you know, derogatory names because I was upset at the time. But I understand that he was just trying to build his platform and get views. You know what I mean? So I don't hold that against him. He's successful. I salute him for that. But he wasn't the only one trying to push that narrative. What's the other dude name? Storm McRow. I had an interview with him. He didn't put out because he didn't like that I wouldn't say that Jay-Z had me shot it, and a few other people. And some of them actually put the interviews out and took them down. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know who I wasn't in Marcy Project, bro. Maybe in February, maybe the story might change, but you know that's what it is for right now.
All right, respect with that all day. But so the informant is who started that rumor.
Yes, and not just the informant, but the podcasters, bro. It's just like
Mm.
the R. Kelly case, even Diddy. Like I know people who he really violated. And again, shout out to Natanya. I totally believe I know she's not lying about her situation. But you gotta think how many people would see real victims come forward and say, well, I was around Diddy, so this is my opportunity to shine. I'm gonna come forward and lie. Same thing with R. Kelly. I'm not saying that everybody was lying, you know what I mean? But I do believe probably 90% of the people was lying for fame or the money that they was offering. You know what I mean? And now it's like, okay, they trying to put me in a position to put allegations on Jay-Z, and they offer me views and even bro, on my dead brother, bro. I don't even like to put bro in this, but when it come down to stuff that people might question and be like, man, I don't think he's telling the truth. But look, it's people who came to me and said, look, we can put you in the Rolling Stone and the mainstream media if you just change your story and say, you know, R. Kelly is a pedo or whatever you know what I mean? I know I can't say it directly on these public platforms, but they offer me opportunities to be in mainstream media. You know what I mean? To say bad things about R. Kelly, and I wouldn't do it. So I know how it go. That's why at that point, I really didn't believe most of the people who were saying bad things about him because they offer me that. And it's like, yes, I have integrity. I stand on morals, values, and principles. I'm not gonna go there. But think about the people who put money over morals and principles. You know what I'm saying? They gonna say what they want them to say.
That's deep. I like the way you broke that down, man. You really took your time and get into that. And but I know when someone is not happy with someone or mad at someone, the story might come out a little different. I'm saying as far as with like Jay-Z and R. Kelly, but the way you broke it down, it makes sense. But the way I also, heard it as far as R. Kelly coming late to the performance and Jay-Z is about being punctual, I could see how that falling out too. But, you know, I'm just trying to figure out why do these? Why is it such a problem when someone shine above someone when in time your light will shine too? How do you feel about that?
They don't see longevity. Like people like me could see that. People like I get a good vibe from you, bro. I don't think you have no hate in your blood. You know,
Never did.
we probably had we obviously had little disagreements and frustrations with each other, but we respect each other as men. And I think you probably would like to see me shine. I would love to see you shine, but you got to understand, most people don't think like that. Most people look at, oh, Unique Mecca got a popping platform. I'm trying to do what he doing, but he outdoing me. So for some reason, I don't understand why haters or hateful people think the way that they think, but it's there, bro. Like people would not like you because you doing what they want to do. You messing with the girl that they want. I don't understand that. You know what I mean? I just don't, because I never had that type of hate in my blood. Like I like to see people doing good, and I hate to see people doing bad. Like it really hurt me to see people doing bad. You know what I mean? But you have people that just like they so insecure, they gotta feel like they doing better than everybody else just to feel good about themselves. When you got people like me who, man, long as I'm doing what I feel like God want me to do and I'm achieving my goals, I'm happy with myself. I don't associate or evaluate my happiness or success based on what somebody else doing. You know what I mean? And some people do. It's like, so even people who accomplishing their goals, if they come across somebody who doing 10 times better than them financially and probably outshining them, got a better car, got bigger chains, or you know what I'm saying? Man, they girlfriend might have a bigger booty, like dumb shit like that, bro. It cause envy with other people. Me, I never had those emotions, so I don't understand why Jay-Z or other people think the way that they think.
I fully understand what you're saying because I lost a real, what I thought was a friend. I lost what I thought was a friend over my growth on YouTube. You know what I mean? I hit a little 30,000, then I hit 40,000, and you know what I mean? And they started acting a little different, and then I jumped up another 20,000 to 60,000, and next thing I know, I'm hearing that they talking behind my back. And it's another YouTuber. And I tell all my friends, I got 60,000 subscribers. Come on over here and get some. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that's what it is. You just mentioned Lionel B.
yeah.
His
But then you
program,
got
and I tell them again, go check out Lionel B. He got a banging program. You know, that's that's where that's how I was raised. That we listen. I don't want to be the only one in the mall or in the bar or in the club pulling out money and have to pay for everyone around me. I'd rather give everybody what I want to give them and they make that work for the night. You know what I mean? Before I pull out my pocket and degrade a man by buying him his drink, buying him his food, buying him his shoes. You know what I mean? If
Mhm.
you're going to give it to him, give it to him. I don't go to the counter and pay for another man's anything. You understand what I'm saying? Because to me, that's degrading a man. If y'all feel that way, put in the comment. If you don't, put in the comment. But that's just, how I feel about that.
Yeah.
But, you know, and it's a sad day. And you mentioned Natasha. I had the pleasure of talking to her.
Natanya,
Natanya.
you know
Natanya.
how important names is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
don't
no,
want
no, no, exactly. But, me, I'm Jamaican, so I mess it up.
to.
My apologies to you. How
Yeah,
you pronounce it, Natanya?
yeah,
Yeah, Natanya. I spoke to her and she was very sincere and passionate about her recollection of what happened on December 27th. You know what I mean? Um, what they call it, 27 years ago, because the anniversary was getting ready to come
yeah.
up.
When Diddy
And
shot her in the face.
yeah, you know what I mean? And she said from day one, that's what she seen. You know what I mean? So nobody can question her about that. From day one, she said that. And from what I know and the research that I've done, she don't have any reasons to lie to say that it was him because there's always a motive. before you get locked up for unaliving somebody or whatever, there has to be a motive. And I don't see a motive in Natanya's, repertoire. And I felt her compassion and I felt her trauma, and we spoke about her trauma and about my trauma, because I got trauma and she got trauma. Maybe if I interview, we'll share some of our traumas with you, and they're like this, they're left field, but
Yeah.
they're our traumas. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
anyone that we close to have to respect that and know that that's what moves us. You can't understand it because we can't understand it ourselves, because if we did, we'll be able to cure it. All we could do is work on ways to nurture it and try and get it out of our system. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely right, my brother.
Mm-hmm. Yo, we've been on here an hour. I got this to take care of something tonight, but it was a pleasure having you. You got a book out, right? Tell us about your book and where they can find you and what's going on with that.
Well, I got a few of them. Well, three that I've been promoting. One is entitled "Value of the Vagina," which is a women's empowerment book. I named it that because I knew the title was controversial, but it's actually a women's empowerment book, and it's deep. And any female who read that told me it changed their life and made them a better woman. So I'm very proud of that work. I also have a book called The Holy Trap Scriptures. It's like a black empowerment book. It goes into the history of how black people ended up in the conditions that we in now, and how people like Malcolm X, Dr. King, Fred Hampton, Huey Newton, Tupac, people like me and you are targeted, and how people could get out of that trap. You know what I mean? Like the hood is considered the trap for a reason. You know what I'm saying? We in this poverty, we get these opportunities to sell dope, and it's like, why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? And then we can't see the patience and the longevity. So it's like, why wouldn't I? Let me get this fast money right now and change my life and buy myself a crib for myself, my girl, my kids, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's tempting. That's why they call it the trap. But then I have my latest book is called Challenging the Illuminati, and that's the book that I've been giving away for free. If you could possibly create a link for the book to put it in the description, you give it away to your whole audience for free. If not,
I could do that. I'll do that for you. I'll do that, and for my audience. I think that's a good gesture. We're gonna give you a round of applause. All right. So Ronnie Bo is gonna give me a link, or we're gonna talk about how we're gonna do it. But he's offering his books to you, but you gotta subscribe. Hit him with that, Ronnie. Let them know they
yeah,
gotta
for sure.
subscribe.
I always say that on these platforms, like, it's actually free because it costs you nothing to like and subscribe and share and comment. You know what I mean? So some people just they could get good content, but it's like we go back to the hate. Like, why wouldn't you share this? You got good content out of this. You learn something. Why wouldn't you share this so somebody else could learn something? And then with your platform, like, why wouldn't you subscribe so you got this good content this time? You got to know that it's gonna be more good content like this. So like, share, subscribe. It costs you nothing. In return, you get the free ebook by myself, Ronnie Bo, Challenging the Illuminati.
See, that's player, man. That's straight player. That's how we do. We try and look out for each other the best we can, because it ain't always about a dollar. You know what I mean? We want to build lasting, relationships, lasting bonds. But, I really like Ronnie, and I'm definitely going to keep in touch with him because he's straight gangster. There's only a handful of us out there like that. And if y'all really listen to what he said and how this interview went, he spoke as a straight G. He corrected himself before he said anything that might not be true. He corrected himself about not being R. Kelly's assigned cellie, but he was in the cell with him all the time. And that's really a cellie. You know what I mean? Because the one that you sit down and you really talk to, to get away from the rest of the prison population. Now,
Yeah.
we've been on here long enough. I'm gonna put some real questions, some real gangster questions for you, because I see you're a gangster and you what, 38, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm 60. You know what I mean? So he's the generation under me, or maybe even 2 generations, because he's 2 decades behind me. But he was raised with good morals and good principles, and he honors the code, as you can see, because he even said something else. These are the things that stuck out in my mind. When you even said that, you gave R. Kelly your word, you wouldn't mention certain things when you went down certain places. And for those that's watching, the rat bastards and flip flop wearing in public trolls, you know, I'm not gonna try and pull anything out of a man that he don't want to share. Because I even asked him before we came on here, is there any place you don't want to go? And he said, nah, go where you want. So that's why I was letting him ride, and that's why I came off the screen and I did it. Ronnie Bo, thank you. I got to go to a comedy show, or find something going on tonight. But it's a pleasure. We're gonna do it again, and I'm gonna put because we already, me and Ronnie Bo got a joint that we did with Jasmine and Destiny, that we're gonna explain to you what it's like when you go to jail and your women and your children is left behind, and then you cheated on your woman while you was out here, but now that you're locked up, you expect her to still do the bid with you. Do you think she should still do the bid with you? But she was with you when you got locked up, and then she left you for what you did on the street. We got a whole show coming about that. Jasmine is real articulate. You know what I mean? You could already tell that Ronnie Bo grooming her like a true queen. And, it was really a pleasure to do that interview. And I think y'all going to like that. But we're going to air this one first, because this one's about introducing, a solid brother like Ronnie Bo, man. All right? I want to thank you, Ronnie.
Man, thanks for having me, bro. I put my hand on my heart. That mean I feel you.
Say it again.
I said I put my hand on my heart. That mean I feel you. Real recognize real, and you looking familiar.
All day. All right, so we out, man. Thank you, Ronnie. We're gonna do another part, and we got the relationship joint when you go to prison. If your girl is supposed to do the bid with you or not, put it in the comments. Let's keep it going. All right. Thank you for tuning in.